to demonstrate again and go back and review the first 4 punches from Zen Shin Ko Tai, and then towards the end of the kata, the block, knee, kick combination that so many of us train and practice in both Chito-ryu and Yoshukai, and then my personal interpretation of those techniques. So as a review, if you'll recall, the first 4 punches, what we worked on, come in with a punch, okay? As More Sensei steps into punch, I'm going to move, locking right behind his ankle and his leg, and then instead of the punch, this hand comes up through, I rotate out on my rear leg here, and throw. And finish. Okay? Adding to that, hands up, he comes at me to punch. Now I'm just coming in here to block, and then the obvious next piece is to strike, right from the kata. Okay? And I can grab this and pull to my hips, utilizing hikite here, which disrupts his forward motion and pushes him into my punch. Okay? And then adding to that piece, same thing, punch comes, I'm going to grab, rotate into hikite. Now the power disruption comes from my leg right below my knee and my shin, hips forward. Okay? Here, and you can see how I lock into his leg. Okay? So as I step through for the punch, I'm actually locking into his knee. And this for the opponent is also very painful, but it jams his forward motion when I step into a good effective Zenkutsu for the okay? Then also reviewing the 2 backward steps and punches. Keeping in mind that in Okinawa, when these katas were developed, offline movements weren't necessarily shown in the kata, but they were dictated by the teachers. Okay? So as that punch comes, now I'm moving offline and I'm striking. What this technique does more than just a punch is it allows the opponent to impale himself. So as he comes at me full speed, I'm coming right in here and he just impales himself. Notice I'm stepping back, but I'm stepping offline. Same thing, punch, and now I'm moving offline and I'm targeting the lower part of the ribs here, the floating rib. Now, this series of techniques, excuse me, this series of techniques is done differently within Yoshukai. Most Yoshukai schools, at the end of Zenshinkotai, will bring the leg up, block, Gedan Barai, and then Yoko Geri. So it's 1, 2. And then we do the same thing to the other side. Okay? Within Shintai-ha Yoshukai, Shintai-ha Yoshukai, and I think most schools out of the Foster camp, Sensei Foster's camp, that particular series is broken down into feet come to Masubidachi, I block, I pull, Yoko Geri, and then I do it to the other side. It doesn't really matter to me what order you do this in or how you do this. Order is important. But whether or not you bring the leg up, what's more important is to understand what you're doing within the kata. Okay? So, what most people will do is against the front kick, this is how it's taught. Okay? Front kick or a side kick, I throw a block and then a Yoko Geri. Go back. So he comes at me with a front kick. Suddenly I have an opponent wanting to attack me here. It jams up that little side kick. If you want to teach that to, I don't know, white belts, yellow belts, feel free. But for me, that particular series doesn't make a lot of sense. A, because not a lot of people out in the streets are going to come at you with a front kick. Maybe they will, but chances are they're not going to come at you from the side with that. Okay, so if you want to demonstrate that and teach that to young kids, that's perfectly acceptable, but understand that I believe that particular series of techniques was designed more for me to turn offline or into my opponent rather than to defend against something from the side. Okay? So step back up here. Let me see. Okay, so what I mean by that is, as his punch comes, okay, I'm going to block here. Here is my block from the actual kata and my strike. So that's one possibility. 1, 2. Striking, I can grab and knee, and then kick the knee. Okay? That's one possibility. Going back. The next possibility is, as he comes in here and I can block with my left hand, come across here and grab. So I grab into the shirt, and then I can either come across here to execute the block, strike, pull, and then the next piece of this, where we would typically do a yokogeri, now becomes knee, set it down, come through, and throw, and finish. All right. Okay? So, one last time. And remember, at the end of the kata, so we execute this to the right side, to the left side, and then we punch. So that punch now becomes the catalyst for the throw. Okay? If you can execute it to the right side, you can play with it to the left, doesn't matter. Works the same. But that first punch, I throw him, and then as I move in, you can finish with that last series of 3 punches, whatever. Okay? So again, punch comes, I block, I come across here, I reach in and grab, I strike to the brachial plexus here, and then grab, knee, come across. You'll notice when I set this down, I set it in real deep so that I lock his hips in. Then this hand comes across for the throw. 1, 2, 3, and finish. Right. So that's our demonstration and our basic breakdown of Zenshin Ko Tai. Hopefully you find it beneficial, or you can at least build on some of those techniques. Whoosh.